Yo, what's up? It's your boy IG with another episode of The Juice. And we here today with Nikki Nuvo.
Hi.
I call you celebrity hairstylist. What you own? I don't know. I know you own the boutique, but you still own the
Yeah.
clothing boutique. So
Yes, I
what?
do. And I have a
Clizza,
hair salon.
hair
It's Cleesa.
salon.
And then I have a
Okay.
mobile car wash company.
You do a lot. I know you do wigs,
Yeah.
all that. You know what I'm saying?
All that.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I brought her on today because, she's a Christian.
Yes.
And she's also lived in LA and done a lot of things
Yes.
in the Hollywood realm. So really want to talk about how's it being a Christian and infiltrating Hollywood, what you have to deal with out there that way. So
Um,
first, I've
yeah.
been reading a lot about it, like lately, a lot about it.
Okay.
Just like, different actors and actresses saying they really have to hide who they are in their Christianity to even make
Yes.
money in Hollywood. So
Yes.
since you were there, did you ever really have to do that? Hide who you
Um,
were?
I never truly had to hide who I was, but I could see because of my discernment, the ones that were doing so, the ones that were battling with like their beliefs, battling with their faith just so because you're kind of led to feel like you have to like not really believe in God to really get ahead out there, which is it's crazy. It's 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 I know my purpose and why God had me out there, and I'm actually moving back. I'm in Philadelphia right now, but I'm moving back in 2 weeks, and God is sending me back out there with a different plan. So it's
Oh, did
I'm ready.
didn't know you were moving back, so I
Yeah.
guess the plan. So I'm gonna just piggyback on that. So what are you able to talk about the new plan since you
Um, so you know what is so crazy? Right now where I am within my faith, God is basically just has me just um I like one of the pastors that I follow, he said like this year is the year of the wind. And it's just like the push from God. And I'm going out there on faith. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't even know what I'm going out there to do. I just know I woke up one day and I felt a push and I knew I was supposed to go back to LA. And I said, God, if this is you, give me a sign. And one of my celebrity hair clients called me not even 6 hours later and was like, Nuvo, when are you coming back out here? I need you. So I like looked up and I'm like, guess I'm going back to LA. All right. I don't even know what I'm doing. But I
what?
know God's calling me. But I know when I left LA before, the Lord had shown me that He was going to take me back out there, and He's going to build me up, which He has done, and take me out there to help a lot of people. A lot of His called, a lot of His chosen, the ones that He put on the platform. You know, to actually let people know who He is. So I've been home since about 2013. And when I tell you I'm ready for war, like my prayer life has changed, my faith has changed. Like I'm ready. I'm like God. I'm your vessel. I am your servant. Use me, and all I want to do is just glorify your name. I don't want anyone to try to take the credit. Like when I'm out there, I just want to be spirit led the whole time I'm out there.
Oh wow, you know what I'm saying? You going out there, to wreak
I'm
havoc,
I'm ready.
going out there to wreak havoc. And which is awesome. Like
Yeah.
I don't even know what to say. You got me over here looking like she about to preach or something. So, about to go into a sermon. So I'm ready to listen. But I really, because I know you've been out there. I know,
Yeah.
like I said, celebrity hairstylist. You were also Black China's personal assistant for a while.
Yes. Yes.
So that's a relationship that, people would look at someone like you who's Christian and would be
Hmm.
like, how does that relationship even work? Like not
Because
letting.
she always been
Hmm?
a Christian. God, she was one of my assignments that God sent me out there to work with her before. And a lot of people don't know that. So the person that she is now, when I tell you my spirit is like excited because people are truly seeing who she is, not for who they thought she was, like who she is. Like her name is, her name is Angela. It means angel. It means messenger. So it's like now she's walking in that, and she's boldly, like, if you see anything she posted, she's wearing like the cross and everything like that. She's boldly walking, and she's happy, and she found peace with God. So I'm just excited to go back out there and not work with her, but be beside her and go out there and pray with her and continue what God started years ago, and utilize the platform that He has her on.
Wow. See, I didn't
Yeah.
know all that about her. I only
Yeah.
know the little bit I see and a little
Yeah.
bit that you have told me from time to time. I haven't really, I don't really follow a lot of celebrities too much anymore.
Me
So it does like what goes
understandable.
on in their life is not my thing.
Yeah.
So like with that like relationship, and I know I'm more as a Christian, I'm more of a libertarian when it comes to my belief system in a lot of things. So I
Hmm.
know with like Hollywood and everything, there's a lot. Oh, I think the last time I was out there, it was actually during Pride.
Oh yeah.
And I think you were out there at the same time too. So it was like during
Okay.
Pride. And I was like, so that's knowing how big Pride was then. And like, I'm like,
Hmm.
for me, doesn't really bother me because it's not my business. You're not infringing on anything
Yeah.
I'm doing. So for you, and I know it really doesn't infringe on you that much, but
Yeah.
being around like in those type of situations, how do you handle that when you're around someone who thinks differently than maybe you and I both think about the whole Pride thing?
Well, one of the things that I know that God uses me for, God loves the sinner but hates the sin. And when I talk to people, like, God uses me to like plant like little mustard seeds in people and let them know that regardless of however you're in the choices that you're making and everything like that, God still loves you, and God still, like, he wants a relationship. To get rid of religion, a lot of people have false when it comes to being a Christian. A lot of people don't really understand what it means to truly have Christ within. They don't understand that we're not really out here to judge. We're out here for the relationship with God, to you know share His word, let people know that He's like love, you know what I mean, and that He cares, and whatever you're going through, you can turn to Him. He still loves you regardless, but there are certain things and there's certain sins that He looks at and it's like, hey, I don't agree with this, but it might simply be something. I don't want to get too spiritual as far as spiritual warfare. There's certain things that we just need to be delivered from. Certain people, like, forgive them for they know not what they do. Some people don't understand that something that they did when they were younger put something inside of them that causes them to feel that they are who they are, and that's truly not them, because they need deliverance. So within my discernment, I see stuff in people, and God uses me. Like, I always tell people, like, I feel like, I'm a healer. Like, God reveals things to me to help heal people, and that's just how I'm gentle with people. I'm not judgmental, but I'm also understanding. So hopefully that answers what you were asking me.
Uh, I answer you. You're good. Like because you're leading me to other questions. Because you said things. You said you feel that you're a healer. So like when you
Yes.
say healing, do you mean
Like,
mental healing, emotional healing, or the physical healing?
both. So with me being a
Oh,
hairstylist, I basically, I'll give you an example. One time I had a young lady, she sat in my chair, and the Lord kept saying, "Tell her to pay attention to her children." And I'm like, I don't know this woman. Like, what? But when God tells me something, sometimes I get this like knot in my stomach, and if I don't listen, it'll just get tighter and tighter. I'll get nauseous. The Lord can speak through your belly. And I'm like, all right. So, like, I got in front of her and I'm like, I know this is like crazy. I don't know anything about you, but the Lord is telling me to tell you to pay attention to your children. And she just started crying. And then, like, instantly, like, I started crying. And she looked up at me and she said, you know what? She said, I had 3 children. And she said, a few months ago, my older child, who's autistic, he was walking his younger siblings home from school, and the littlest one ran out to the street. So the autistic kid ran out to the street and grabbed the youngest one and threw him back, and he got hit by a car and he died. And she said ever since that day, when she would see her kids, it would just remind her, so she hadn't been paying attention to her children. So
oh,
stuff
wow.
like that, like, God will use me for that. There's another time, I always know when God is going to give me a word. Like, when I touch my clients, they jump. They're like, whoa. And then I'm like, all right, God, just, and I instantly, I look up and I just say, God, whatever it is, I'm your vessel, let it flow through me. So it's, There's times where people come to me, like I do Uber as a side job right now to make extra money, and people get in my car and they're like, I don't know why, but they just tell me all their business, and I give them a word. You know, some of them don't know who God is, but simply me saying stuff, like they're like, you make God cool, you know, and that's what I like about it, because some people, like, they view God like you have to be so churchy and so, you know, sanctified, and like God can be cool. You know, he's not. Yes, he does judge us, but he also is a caring God. You know, so I just know that God uses me to heal people, or sometimes I'll have visions or I'll have dreams, and it's simply stuff that I know that it's things that people need to be healed from. So yeah, like
I'm, I'm,
I'm a
I'm
healer.
tripping over the Uber church that you got. You know what I'm saying? You're over
Oh,
here giving me
listen,
with the Uber.
every day I get in the car, I'm like, God bless me, cover me, and send at least 2 riders that just need to hear your word, or just let me say something encouraging, just to plant seeds, you know, plant seeds in them to let them know that who you are and that you care and that you're there for them. So yeah, it's
So I'm gonna ask you this question about, entertainment
mm-hmm,
and now I don't really watch too many Christian films out of Hollywood, period,
mm-hmm,
because I feel like a lot of them are just whack. So
yeah.
yeah, so do you think, like, because of the whole stigma that comes with it, that they don't put the money into the films that would display Christianity the correct way to people?
I feel like they water it down. It's like watered down, and I know that when I want to see, so I want to watch something that's relatable. I want to watch something that I'm like, I've been through that, or I know what that feels like. I feel like when it comes to like the film industry, it's too like cookie cutter textbook. It's too soft. I want to see like the real and the raw, because people live real and raw lives. And you know, like the whole purpose of like having a Christian movie or having Christian music is to touch you. You know, you want to feel it. I don't get that from the movies. I don't. Sometimes I see the previews and I'm like, I already know how it's going to end. Like I don't feel like Christianity is like overrated in the film industry. It definitely is. I listen to more Christian hip hop. Well, I listen to Christian hip hop before I'll like really pay attention to like the movie aspect of stuff. Like I don't get into
You're from Philly, you from a big pocket of Christian hip hop, so you definitely should
Yes,
listen to it.
yes.
Yeah,
I have
so
riders listening to it. They dance and they're like, hold on, what's this again? I had somebody today. He was like, oh, I put him on to a couple people. Even like the what's his name, Lathan Warlick or War something like that. He's like
Lathan Warlick, he's dope. He's dope though. He's dope.
yeah, yeah. I was like, he's like a Southern Christian country hip hop, you know, of course the Lecrae's and the KBs and the, you know, the mainstream people. But I'm like, usually the mainstream is what will draw them in. And then when they start seeking, then they're going to find like the true and the raw. Like, I love Christian hip hop. That I found God through when I lived in LA because of Christian hip hop.
Oh
Like,
wow.
yeah. Lecrae song Pray For You. Like I heard that and I was like, I don't know what, it just came on the radio. I was listening to like Pandora and I was like listening to the words and I'm like, wow, like the way like he's really going to war for his friend. And at the end when he said the person that I'm really praying for is really me, I felt it. And that made me go dig deeper. I was like, hold on, who is this artist? Like, what is this? The next thing you know, I was like fasting and praying all because of Christian hip hop. Christian hip hop really saved my life. It introduced me to God in a way, as I was saying earlier, that was like, that's cool. That I could still be me without losing me, you know. It just and it helped me in LA. It helped me working with like the celebrities and everything like that. Like I would listen to it while I was doing their hair. They bopping. And then they're like, hold up, like this is different. They're not talking about like killing and you know fornicating and you know what I mean. They're not speaking bad of women. Like I'm like yeah, that's why like I love it. It's clean. It's just I love Christian hip hop. I
I
do.
didn't think we was gonna be talking about Christian hip hop today. So
Sorry, we talk about you know
and
celebrities.
that's one of my things. So like I
Yeah,
really was not trying to talk about that at all. But
yeah,
you did
that's
bring up
fine.
Praying for You by Lecrae, which is actually one of my favorite songs.
Okay.
like you said, because he's actually talking about himself in the
Yeah.
whole song, and it's like you think he's talking about somebody else. Like it's some of the things he's saying, you're like, oh wow, that's where you were. You know what I'm saying? Because you was
Yeah.
going through a lot of stuff, but everybody else thinks you're something different than what you're really going through.
Yeah. And just the emphasis on that, it's like he identifies that he's a good person and everyone sees him as a good person, but he's like, it's not saying he's dying on the inside, but something's going on internally, and he's like seeking God. To me, a lot of people that I talk to, like I had a friend that asked me, how do I increase my faith? A lot of people don't know how to pray. They don't, they think that they have to, I'm like, the people that pray in the way that you feel like you're supposed to pray and everything are people that are, they're basically, God says, give him the word back when you pray. They're reciting scriptures that you don't know. So a lot of people, like, through Christian hip hop, it just really showed me like I could just go to God and just be raw because He already knows. He already knows what I'm going through. He already, like, I could tell him, listen, I don't like this right now. I don't like how I'm feeling. You say cast my cares on you. I'm giving it to you. You handle this because I can't take this. That's what Christian hip hop did for me when I really started listening to the lyrics, and I'm like, I could be myself, and God knows who I am, and God's gonna guide me. He's gonna help me. It helped with my prayer life.
That's definitely dope. I want to get off the Christian hip hop for a second because
Go
you're
ahead.
gonna give me
Go
we're gonna
back.
be on
Go
here
back.
for like we're gonna be
I
on here for
know.
like
Go
two
ahead.
hours. We get to talk about that, and I'm not trying to do
Yeah.
that. So
Yeah.
um so I was reading something, and I want to say it was yesterday, and it was specifically because it was talking about Mark Wahlberg and how he's a devout Catholic and he loses roles because of his Christianity. But it then went into how Christians are actually portrayed in Hollywood, where a lot of times the person in the movie or in the TV show is that's Christian is usually portrayed in a negative aspect. They're either
Yes.
overly Christian,
Yes.
with no chance at changing, kind of like I want to say they talked about the father in Footloose,
Yeah.
who's
Yeah.
a pastor, and like this, he's against everything that's going on. So he's the antagonist in the movie. And then they
Yes.
talked about the movie Chocolat, where another person was the antagonist in the movie. So how do you feel about I don't say, well, I guess as Christians, always in certain aspects of Hollywood, always been portrayed as an antagonist when that
It's
shouldn't always be the case, unless it's a
yeah.
overtly Christian film. Then they might be portrayed as someone good.
I just feel like they make everything so extreme. They don't. A lot of people are lukewarm, so I don't feel like it's relatable. Like it's more of a feeling. Like I'm trying to figure out how to like to describe how my views on like Christian. It all I can say, and I'm sorry to be like so short with it. I don't like how Christians are portrayed. I don't like how they make it like they either like hate God, they're running from God, they don't want nothing to do with it, or you have the extreme father that's like, or a mother that's like, oh, you can't live in this house if you don't believe in God. Like they just make stuff so extreme that it's just not relatable, and it's just they overdo it. It's like a bad. I'm not saying Tyler Perry has bad movies, but it's just like it's just overacting, and I don't feel like the true message is going to be received for somebody that's either that lukewarm Christian or that person that is trying to seek God. I don't. The only Christian movie I could say that I really really like that I would tell other people to watch is The War Room. But even in that, it has a little bit of overacting. But The War Room, shows you the power of God and how God can change things. I don't really like Christian movies.
Mm.
Mm-mm.
I get it. I get it because I
Mm-mm.
watch a lot of Christian films and be like, wow, this ain't it. I'd rather watch
Yeah,
documentaries, and I hate watching documentaries sometimes because they always talking bad about the church. But I do
yeah,
enjoy them, see what's really going on, so I can't say
and
anything.
it's
Yeah.
crazy because like to speak on the movie aspect, like I had somebody I had picked up the other day from Hollywood that was coming to Philadelphia. I picked him up from the airport, and he was a writer, and I was telling him like, I'm a prophetic seer. Well, not gonna say prophetic seer. I'm a seer. I have a seer anointing, and I'm a dreamer. And I'm like, I was telling him some of my dreams, and I'm like, they're like movies, and the dreams that I have, I would love to see something like that on the big screen because I feel like they would truly help the person and seeking God. They would truly and they would plant seeds. Like I'm that's my I'm a gardener. I just want to plant seeds, you know. I want to see real life stuff. Like I would love to work with somebody, but I don't know anything about like movie production or anything like that to take my dreams and make them into like a reality. Because when I tell
D.
people my
Willis.
dreams and then the meaning, huh?
I said, yo, D. Willis, the dude behind the scene
Oh,
produced.
listen. Listen, I would love to sit and talk with him, like, and do something because it's like when I ran it past the guy, I don't want to say too much on here. He was like blown away. He's like, listen, you got to do this, but I don't know where to start with it. Like, I feel like that I could help make that change. And I feel like, you know, I feel led to do this. And I was like, maybe that's what I'm going to LA to do. I don't know. Because it's been
Maybe.
heavy on my
I, I,
heart. Yeah.
I definitely hope so because real life films are much easier to watch. It's just like
Yes.
listening to real life music.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
being able to respect the artists for doing rapping about or singing about their reality is better
Hmm.
than someone rapping about someone else's reality any
Yeah.
given day for me.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
So
So
I want to see that. I want to see that on TV. I definitely do. Like I.
you brought up Tyler Perry. I had no intentions of talking about Tyler Perry at all because he does do. I say they're Christian films because there's gonna be
Yeah.
some God in there. There's always gonna
Yeah.
be some
There's
God in that
always,
stuff, but
always. Yeah.
always gonna be some God in this stuff. Now,
Yes.
but his films are more comedic stuff, and then they
Yes.
throw a little bit of godly stuff in there. So
Hmm.
I, but that's his thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He's been doing that since
Yeah.
the plays, and being that he's from New Orleans, he gets love from me automatically. Uh,
Yeah.
but it's his thing is more comedic. If there was more, I guess, because it's more of a style that he has. I guess if there was more people with that same style, it would be easier to grasp for other people.
Yes.
But he's gonna make you laugh if you like that type of comedy,
He
and
definitely
he's
is.
gonna give you a
He's
little bit of press, and
entertaining.
I respect that. So that's fine with me. But a lot of the other people, I'm just like, when like I
Yeah.
recently watched, I think we're not gonna say recently because it was around Christmas. Watched the Kurt Franklin film on, I think it was Lifetime.
Oh yeah, I didn't see that.
Yeah, and
It's
I
bad. I'm not
literally
led to watch any of it. Like if it just comes on, it comes on. Like I had like the subscription to what's that Pure Flip Pure something. I just kind of canceled the membership. Pure Flix or
uh,
something it was called. Yeah, I kind of was like,
oh yeah, yeah, I know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about.
yeah,
I just well, we got to think of my household. Come Christmas time, we watch a lot of Christmas movies,
yes,
a
yes,
lot of them. So if it comes on, we're gonna watch it, and I watched it only
yeah,
because I was like, oh, it's Kurt Franklin. I know there's gonna be some singing in there. That's about it. I
yeah.
just want to see who was
Okay,
in it singing.
yeah,
The storyline and plot was just like y'all just jumped into this. Y'all didn't even build up to what's going on. These people are already. So it was like
yeah.
it was just weird to watch, and I couldn't do it at all. So,
Hmm.
but I'm also one of the people watching a regular action film. I'd be like, if it take too long to get to that action, we might turn it off.
Yes,
So,
yes,
but so I'm growing on that. I'm still learning.
yeah. Listen,
As far as since we got on Christian hip hop, I might as well get there.
hmm,
You said you're a fan of Lecrae. I remember when you weren't.
I know. Because it was
Uh,
like sometimes he would
what
be doing
changed
some
that?
stuff, but you know what it is? It's like at the end of the day, he's the things that made me not a fan of him. So I saw him doing some stuff, but I was like, I had to remind myself that he's only human, you know. And at the end of the day, like if he's spirit led and he's just being obedient and everything like that, let him do that. But he's relatable, you know. He's like to me, he's like the LeBron of like you can't run from him when it comes to Christian hip hop. He's his one of his songs is always going to come on, and then I like his diversity. You know, I like his songs of like Tori Kelly and like everybody else, and you know, even when he worked with like mainstream worldly artists or whatever like that, it's like at the end of the day, sometimes just like film is starting to put stuff that is not of God in it. Sometimes you might have to take a non-godly situation and put some God in it. You know,
Mm.
that again plant that little bit of seed where it's going to make somebody go deeper. So I just had to just say, okay, you know what? One time I saw him put a hand gesture up, and I was like, whoa! And I actually commented on his picture, and he like commented back, and I'm like, please don't do that symbolism because that's part of like the Illuminati. Please don't tell me you sold your soul. Like, and I wasn't trying to be rude, but I was just like, whoa, like, I'm conscious about that because that's something I have witnessed in the industry. I'm not going to say no names, but people that were supposed to be, I'm not going to say holier than thou, but people that are supposed to be spirit led and followers of Christ, and they're really in it for the money. You can see that. So,
Oh,
yeah.
I got you. I definitely understand that because I was just like, since we're on Christian hip hop right now, there's literally a song. I want to say it's by
Mm-hmm.
GS, um, and somebody else. I can't think of what it's called right now, but they literally talk about the church and the streets being exactly the same because they both will mess you over for money.
Yeah,
So,
and it is. I
and I
just
was
had a
just like, man,
conversation with
this
a
is
friend
dope
about that.
because I look, and
His per
I'm gonna go to my playlist after this, find the song, and send it to you.
Please, yeah, please send it to me. And it's a shame because I have a friend that I had a whole conversation with. I don't care if you're my friend, you're gonna hear about God. You're gonna know how he changed me because I'm not who I was before. And her concept and her views on God is like she was like all the people I know were kicked out of the church because of this, and it's all about money, and it's like it's a shame because there's a saying where they say church angel street devil, you know, and some people that's the reality. So I have to like I'm trying to show her that and I'm trying to understand that sometimes we're the only Bible that somebody will open up. You know, Lecrae might be the only Bible that's the only God that someone might be willing to receive, or So it's just it's the church is like people put too much emphasis on the building and not enough on the relationship. And they put too much emphasis on the fact that we're all still human. There's times where I could say I'm on a straight and narrow path, and then there's times where I could say a couple months ago I fell off the path, and I had to like realize, hold up, whoa, I'm not living right. This is not of me. It happens, and sometimes people can see you when you're down or see you when you're not doing what you're supposed to do, but that doesn't mean that don't go to church. That doesn't mean that someone's trying to take your money. You just got to go where you feel led. I've gone to churches where like I've gone in there and you guys like 10 minutes in, they're like, oh, it's time for the $5 offering. Oh, it's time for this, and I'm like, whoa, how are you gonna tell me how much I gotta, you know, to pass around? And then I'm like, I left and I'm like, I don't even know what the pastor preached about today. But there's other times where I'm going to churches and I'm like, I feel I left, I received the word, I left, I dwelled on it, and I used it to change my life. So we gotta start using the platforms, the movies. We need to start showing people what it truly means to be a Christian. The music is starting to do it more and more, showing people what it truly means to be a Christian. We need more God in the entertainment industry because it's at the point now. I had one of my friends' moms was like, "Do you feel like the only way to make it in the industry anymore is like you have to sell your soul?" And it's a shame that people have to ask that. Like, why can't celebrities be a celebrity because they love God, but give him all the glory? You
Well,
know?
there is some celebrities that love God.
Yeah, but it's not
They
enough.
just are in a different. Like I'll be honest, like it's a whole different genre for that. You're a different type of celebrity, which
Yeah,
is
but it's not enough.
weird to
We
me
need
because
more.
like you can be just as talented as someone else, and then in that moment, just because you confess God in your music or through the films that you do, you automatically get thrown into a different genre, which
Yep.
you aren't allowed to reach the same amount of people that someone else reaches.
Yep.
So it's just a weird thing in general. But I understand what it is. If you're trying to specifically keep people on one path, well, this guy that messes up or this woman that messes up that path, you're gonna put them somewhere else. Everybody can't
Yeah.
be in that same lane if you're trying to do something in particular.
Yeah. It's. So let me ask you a question. Do people ask you your opinions on Kanye?
At first, they
Okay.
did.
Yeah.
At first they did.
I used to get a lot of that.
I could give my opinion on Ye,
Uh huh.
but my opinion is less about him
Okay.
and more about the people involved in the church.
Okay.
See,
Um.
because
I. Yeah.
the only opinion I have about him is you wilding out, dude, on some of the things. You can't confess yourselves to be walking this path, and then you're making all these wild posts like that. But the other
Yeah.
stuff, I'm like, I I had more problem when he switched up with the people involved in the church than him.
Okay.
Because the way I looked at it was this man, I liked it, likened it to me. If I would have became a Christian and then 3 weeks later, are you gonna let me get in the pulpit and, do certain things that you allowed him to do because he's famous? So that's where I was with that. Like, other than that,
I
I got
yeah.
other issues with him, but it has nothing to do with that stuff.
Well,
So
it's so crazy. Like I could show you the list of like celebrities that God has had me praying for since like 2012, 2013, and he's on there. And my views on Kanye is he's a baby Christian trying to walk as if he's an adult Christian. He's still learning his way, and he was put on a because of who he is. He was put on a platform too soon before he truly was like walking and living and being led. And he's like a ship. The bigger the ship, the longer it takes to turn around. So, a little tugboat can turn around right away. A cruise ship might take an hour. It might take 30 minutes to turn around, and he's a bigger ship. So for him to get out of that world, it's going to take him a little bit longer for him to turn around or whatever like that. So, and I
that's
just feel
that's
like
that's it
that's,
right there. Because that's basically what
yeah,
I was saying, y'all. He wasn't
yeah,
properly vetted to be put in these
yes,
situations
yep,
because he's still learning and he's still learning each step. He's crawling right now. He's
yeah,
still on milk, and y'all trying to
yep,
put
he's
him
not
out
the
there like
meat.
he on his meat.
Yep,
And I'm like,
exactly.
I've been at this for a long time, and I'm still on milk at
Yeah,
times, so
me
I can't even go there. Like,
Me too.
so
Sometimes when I try to talk to people, I'm like, hold up, wait. I gotta, just like the Lord says that He meets you at your level of faith. Sometimes I have to be like, hold up, let me, God, give me the right words to say so this person understands it. Because I know that I'm a little bit off the milk, but the
oh
meat
wait, let me put
is
this out there for anybody that's watching the show, listening to the show on SDR Radio. This is not specifically a Christian show, y'all. So I'm put that. This
yeah,
just happened to happen today.
yeah,
Like, I had Jay Nice on here and Dre South, who's a CHH artist, but
yeah.
everybody else has not been a CHH artist or anything like that. So
Okay,
this is a show dedicated to entertainment. I
and it's
don't
nothing wrong
want
with
to
that.
offend nobody,
Yeah,
but
understandable.
if it comes up, we're gonna talk about it.
Yeah, and it's just stuff that needs to be said. It's just I love all forms of entertainment, everything except for reality TV. I don't watch trash TV. I can't watch that stuff. Working on set with like all day,
Oh, see,
it's
you
a little
brought it up.
behind the
That was my
scene.
next question because you was on a couple episodes of Love and Hip Hop LA, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Being on set. How was that experience? That's what I really want to know because I literally know one of the pictures you did for the photo shoot in there ended up on a billboard for a strip club. But
Yeah.
so because I
Um,
seen it and I was like, wow, I remember that. So
working
how was that
working
experience
with
for you?
working with reality TV just showed me how fake LA is. It's fake. Like it's entertaining, and they do take real life situations and basically reenact them. Um, I don't like reality TV because it gives these like gives a lot of people like false realities. I know, I work with women a lot, and I feel like a lot of girls that like watch these shows and everything, like, oh, I want to be like her. I want to marry this basketball player. Or I want to be this housewife. I want to do this and everything. And I'm just like, do you know what that person? They're on that show because of the drama that they go through. So you're looking at this TV show and glorifying it, not paying attention that these people are showing you the the realities of how that life is not what it seems to be. It's just material. It's like on the inside, you know what I mean? Like those people are getting cheated on, hurt, lied to, and everything like that. Like I prefer not to work with reality TV. I'd rather deal with like true scripted like movies and music and everything like that that is trying to like prove a point or like to teach or just mean something. I don't working on set like we would for one scene that you guys watch for like 5 minutes, we might have been on recording that scene for like 4 hours. and just redoing it. Hold on, Paul, stop. Do that again.
You can't
Hold up,
pause
come back
real.
in the
You
room.
can't pause reality. So that's
Yeah,
automatically lets it not reality TV anymore.
yeah. It's like if you really pay attention, it'd be like me and you were somewhere, and then how come every time you and I go out to eat, somebody that we don't like just pops up? That doesn't happen in reality, in real life. You don't just keep
Yeah, it
running into
doesn't.
your enemy, you know? So it's just like, I get it. It's entertaining, and they're actually just actresses. That's all, you know, but it's just,
That's that's funny you
mm-mm,
say that because I think we were watching a reality show. It was a dating show that was in Atlanta. One of the
mm-hmm.
dudes, I looked at him and I was like, and then like 3 weeks later, I saw he's the producer of all Country Wayne stuff. Then 3 weeks after that, I'm watching was a South African TV show. He's on the TV show. So I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, he's really an actor. That's what he is. So
Yeah, yeah, they're actors and actresses. Yeah, they're just good
yeah,
at
so
reenacting real life things. But you know, to each their own. Some people are like, I have friends that be like, "Girl, I'm gonna call you back. My show's on." I'm like, "Yeah, all right." It's not for me. And so,
I'm not gonna act like I don't like reality show because it's not my reality. And that's
yeah, yeah,
I watch them to laugh more than anything. So it's like you can't
yeah,
be serious. No. So but some of the stuff is hilarious to me. So that's just like not my reality. And sometimes that's the only drama I have in my life right now is watching
yeah.
somebody else's drama.
But the positive aspect of it is like, you know, it was just walking and just doing my God given talent to and allowing it to be displayed to the world, you know, and the relationships that I've created with like some of my clientele and everything like that, that to this day, 10 years later, we still have great relationships. They'll call me for advice. I'll call them, check on them, you know. I've had, I don't want it to sound so negative, like I look at everything in a negative aspect, because I don't, because I've lived a great life. I've experienced more than the average person because of the platform that the Lord allowed me to be on, you know, to work with people. You know, some people, it took me 2 months to get put on. There was other hairstylists out there that were like, I've been at this for 5 years. Where did you come from? And I'm just like, God put me here. He brought me here, you know. So I don't want people to think that I'm just bashing TV and bashing everything. Like, I've whew, I've traveled the world because of what I do and working with celebrities, you know. So I just want to put that out
Yeah,
there real
yeah,
quick.
yeah. Uh, I'm saying I'm gonna let you get out of here because I see you in your car. We don't want
Oh
to
no,
hold
you're
you
good.
up. So if you want to tell everybody if they want to get their hair done, get a wig, how to hit you up. So
So I'm actually redoing my website, but my Nikki Nuvo on Instagram is the way a lot of people get a hold of me. I do sell hair. I'm actually about to partner up with somebody in LA and take a hair brand to another level. So you're going to be seeing more of me out there and doing more. So, you know, if you need hair, if you need a word of inspiration or something like that, check me out at Nikki Nuvo on Instagram.
all right, thanks Nikki for coming
No
through.
problem. Thanks
Another
for having
episode of
me.
the Juice.
Yes.
Hopefully I see y'all Saturday, but I don't know yet. I'll let
Okay.
y'all know. If y'all want to get at me, where's IG on Instagram? That's the only thing I really use besides Facebook, which I ain't giving y'all my Facebook like that. Man. We don't get down like that. That's for my people. So, thank you for coming through.
No problem.
Really appreciate it.
No
And
problem.
D Willis, man, get at Nikki, man. Your production skills is dope, man. Like,
Yes, please.
oh, big shout out to D Willis. Y'all don't really see him behind the scenes, man, but he do all this stuff that we doing because I couldn't do all this myself at all. It would be trash. I'm not going to lie to you. God didn't bless me with that. So appreciate it. That's my boy for a long time, man. And all the social ghosts that's out there, make sure y'all. I know they be having shows every day, and I need to start promoting them a little more. I try, but the social ghosts is doing something every day, so make sure y'all rock with that. If y'all don't, go to YouTube, SGR 81.4, The Heat, they little radio station. Link in the bio. You can get at that. And hopefully I'll see y'all Saturday, man. Thank y'all for tuning in to another episode of The Juice.